Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. As you can see from the title, this is a full face of first impressions from the drugstore. Actually, it's more like a half face. I only got, well, I didn't get a concealer, I didn't get a primer, I didn't get, that's pretty much all I didn't get. Oh, I didn't get an eyeliner or a mascara. So, I mean, it's mostly a full face. I use a lot of new products in this video is what I'm trying to get at. So if you want to see my thoughts on the new products that I recently picked up, just keep watching. So one of the items that I did not pick up was a primer, but because I'm going to be using the Wet n Wild Photo Focus foundation, I thought I would use the Wet n Wild. I thought I had the Photo Focus primer, but I don't. It's the coverall primer. But they're both Wet n Wild, so I'm going to use them together. Start by sticking that all over my face. Oh, and of course I already did my eyebrows. And I don't know what is going on with them today. I cannot get them to work with me, so yeah. So I picked up the shade Shell Ivory, which is a fair neutral tone. They did have one shade lighter than this, but it was a warm tone, and I am not a warm tone person, so I figured this was my best bet. It might be a little bit too dark, but it's better than being too yellow, as we all learned from that Milani foundation catastrophe. So this foundation has a very weird applicator. It's like a little spatula. I guess I'm just going to dot it on my face. No, this actually doesn't look like it's going to be too bad for color. It's really liquidy. So I've heard really good things about this foundation because it's been out in the States for a while, but it just recently came to Canada. And for the longest time, they never had any of the lighter shades when I went to go look. So I'm just finally now trying it because they finally had my color. I'm really liking the way this applies. I'm not loving that spatula applicator though. I think next time I would just put a glop on my hand and then go in with my beauty sponge. So this is obviously not a full covered foundation. Their biggest claim with this is that there's no flashback with it, which is something that you usually get with a foundation that has SPF in it, which this does not. So it says, tested under 7 light conditions with top smartphone models with and without flash. Delivers virtually flawless and buildable coverage every time. Precision match color with matte second skin finish. Soft focus properties help perfect appearance of skin. I mean, it does make my skin look pretty good. We'll see about the buildable coverage though, because I got this little sucker right here that I gotta cover. Yeah, I think this spatula thing is gonna drive me nuts. So I will say one thing I noticed right away is that this is oxidizing a little bit. It's turning a little bit orange on my face, but it's not too bad. And I think that if I was a little bit faster at putting it on and setting it right away, it probably wouldn't be too big of a deal. So it didn't quite cover that little whatever that is, but I'm going to go in with some concealer. I also didn't get a concealer, so I'm going to go in with the Maybelline Better Skin Concealer. So the next thing I picked up is Wet n Wild Megaglo Contouring Palette. This is not a new item by any means, but it was on sale and I decided I wanted to give it a go. So I got the lighter shade. They have 2 different shades. This is the Dolce de Leche. So I'm going to use that lighter color to set my face because I did not pick up a translucent powder. So I'm just going to take a big fluffy brush. Ooh, that is powdery. It's like, and I'm going to use that to set my entire face. Yeah, that worked pretty good. Now I'm going to go in with the contouring side. That actually looks quite yellow. I'm just going to use a medium fluffy brush. Oh, this is so powdery. Like, can you see that? Like, it just powders everywhere. It actually almost has like a mustardy, greeny yellowy. I don't know, it's really hard to describe. So not loving this. For some reason I decided to wash my clothes while I'm filming. I'll just wait while my washer drains. Okay, you know what? Once I have it on my entire face, it's not as bad as I initially thought. We'll see. We'll finish the rest of the face and see if it all comes together. Let's do eyes next. I picked up this Skinny palette by Annabelle. They had about 4 or 5 different color palettes And they're just so cute. I actually used to love Annabelle eyeshadow. They were like my favorite drugstore eyeshadow when I was a teenager. And of course it comes with a little applicator. This one actually has a little brush on the other end. It's not just a sponge tip. So it looks like this has 4 shimmer shadows. These 4 are shimmer. And then this one looks fairly matte. So the one I picked is Taupe Neutrals. They're actually really pretty colors. Ooh, that dark one is dark. That light one barely even shows up, but it has a very pretty shimmer to it. And on my hand, they actually don't look as shimmery as I thought they were. So this might actually work out to do a nice look with. To prep my eyes, I'm going to go in with MAC Paint Pot because this is what I do every time I do my eyeshadow. Okay, so the first downfall to this palette is that there is no light matte color to set my eyes with, so I'm actually going to go into my CoverGirl True Naked Nudes palette and use the lightest matte shade in that to set my lids. So I'm going to start by taking this middle shade. It's the second lightest color in the palette. I'm going to start by putting that in my crease because although it looked shimmery in the pan, it doesn't actually look that shimmery when I swatched it on my hand. Yeah, there's not much shimmer to it at all. So that's going to be my transition shade. That's actually really pretty. So far, I really like these eyeshadows. Next, I'm going to go into that slightly darker color. It's not much darker. And I'm just going to put that in the crease as well, help deepen it up a little bit. Now remember, I'm just trying to try these shades out, so I'm not going to be doing any kind of crazy new look or anything, just some basic eyeshadow. And then lastly, I'm going to go in with that darkest brown and stick that right in the outer corner. These are really quite pigmented. I'm very impressed. None of them are as shimmery as I expected them to be, except for that lightest color. Now I'm going to take that lightest shade. Oh, do these have names? Oh, yes. Okay, so it just says that this is a highlighter, lid color, crease color, and eyeliner. And then it gives you a little guide on the back how you're supposed to use it. Obviously, that's not what I did, but I like this look. So I'm going to take a little flat eyeshadow brush and take that highlighter color and pack that all over the lid. This one, yeah, definitely has shimmer to it. It's actually almost even like little chunks of glitter in it. I'm also going to take that, a little bit of that, and put that right under my brow bone as a little highlight. It actually even tells you to put this color in your inner corner. I've actually never seen a drugstore palette telling you to do that before. So that's kind of cool. So I'm going to take a little pencil brush and use that in my inner corner too. Oh, that's really pretty as an inner corner highlight. The one thing I will say is that there is a lot of kickback when you are dipping into the palette, but I'm okay with that as long as you tap off the excess. It's not really a problem. Not really a lot of fallout underneath my eyes except for that shimmery color. A light little brushing and that should be fine. Yeah, I am totally digging these eyeshadows. And like I said, they had about 4 or 5 different color palettes. Most of them were like a brownie color scheme, but like some warmer browns and some more golden browns and just that kind of thing. Okay, I don't have any new eyeliner or mascara, so I'm going to quickly put that on and then I'll be right back. Just kidding, I'm going to do underneath my eye. I'm going to take that second darkest shade and stick that underneath my eye. Now I'm going to go finish my eyeliner and mascara. Okay, time for some blush and highlight. Another Wet n Wild product. I got the Wet n Wild Color Icon blush in Apricot in the middle. Comes with a little tiny baby brush, which is not going to be good for anything. Look how pretty this color is. It's very light, but I'm not a big blush person anyways, so okay, so that didn't really show up. Okay, that was a little bit. Oh, that's actually pretty. So it's kind of nice. You kind of can build this up a little bit. It's not going to go on super intense, which I kind of like because it's very easy to overdo blush. Not a big blush person, so this is the perfect kind of blush for me. Next, we have a highlight. Wet n Wild again. I got so much Wet n Wild stuff. but it's exciting because they actually finally carry all this stuff in my Walmart. So I got the Megaglo highlighting powder in Precious Petals. This was the lighter highlight. They only had 2 when I was there, and then the other one was Crown of My Canopy, I think, and that one was a darker highlight, so I figured that this one would work better for me. It's a really nice, like, light champagne-y gold color. That is really pretty. You can't even see it. And I love the little impression they put on there. It's like a little leaf flower thing. Very pretty. So I'm going to take a little fan brush. Ooh, I like that. It's a nice subtle glow. It's not like crazy, but it's very pretty. I gotta say, this is definitely the best drugstore highlight I've ever tried. I have another highlight by Wet n Wild. I have their Megaglo Illuminating Palette in Catwalk Pink, and I gotta say, this is definitely more highlighty than this one. And the last product I have is a lipstick. This is from Kiss New York Professional. I've talked about Kiss before, I think. I have one of their eyeshadows that I actually really love. Super pigmented for a drugstore eyeshadow. Kiss makes my favorite lashes, the Ever Easy No. 11 lashes, but they recently came out with like a whole makeup line that they sell here at London Drugs, and they have so much stuff, and the only thing I've actually tried is their eyeshadow, so I'm excited to try out another product of theirs. This is the Egoism Matte Velvet Lipstick in the shade Chibichibi. No, Chibichibi. Chibichibi. It's a really pretty nude with a little bit of a peachy undertone. It kind of looks funny. It almost looks like it has like a waxy, glossy cover on it. That's kind of weird. But they got kind of an interesting shape to them, a little bit of a teardrop shape. So that's kind of nice for when you're trying to get around the edges. Let's see how this applies. Not a lot of pigment to that. And that looks really gross on my super chapped lips. And it has kind of a weird texture to it. That is really patchy and weird. You can definitely still see my lip through that, and it's just kind of like bunching up all weird. So I don't like that. Oh, and it kind of tastes gross. So if you have dry lips, that's not for you. I don't know if it would work better on lips that weren't as dry as mine, but even just the texture of this is just like very like waxy or something. The pigment shows up great on my hand and not patchy like at all. Well, maybe a little bit patchy, but it does not apply to my lips that way. Like, it actually doesn't look half bad on my hand. Okay, so that was the biggest fail of the night. Other than that, I mean, oh, my skin feels really nice. I'm kind of really loving this foundation. This contouring duo, it actually is not as bad as I first thought it was. The color doesn't look nearly as bad as it did when I first applied it. You know what? I'd probably use this again. I'd probably use the powder more as just like an under eye setting powder, not a whole face powder. The eyeshadow, loved this. And they are definitely pigmented. They blend really nice. I give a thumbs up for those. This blush I really enjoyed. And this color is really pretty. This highlight, definitely love the highlight. It's not blinding, but it's definitely a nice highlight, and it's definitely better than any other drugstore highlight I've tried. And you already know how I feel about this. No go. So that's everything I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Oh, I'm gonna put some lipstick on. This is weird. Okay, so that is everything that I have to show you guys today. I hope you enjoyed this video. It was my first time doing like a full face first impressions. Okay, it was kind of a half face, but I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to see more videos like this, leave a comment down below. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe to my channel so you can see all of my future videos. And I will see you next time. Bye, guys.